Hello and welcome to another review. This is actually a continuation of the last review I did, going over the Triceratops and the Pterosaur blasters from the Dinobots line by Newisland. Newisland was awesome enough to send me the last three needed to make the cool Dino King. This guy right here. That's their wording, not mine. We're gonna see just how cool he is. But I have the Tyrannosaurus Rex, I have the Velociraptor, and I have the Stegosaur. All five of these combined together bring you this big robotic dude, and based off the size of the last two blasters, I think it's going to be rather large. Now, if you're here just to see me put all these things together into the Dino King, I'll have a time code right here where you can skip ahead into the video. But this video is going to be going over the toys themselves, a little bit on how to transform them, putting them into the Dino King form, and then a review of what they're like in their blaster forms, how they fire, how they perform, all that stuff. So we might as well just start this video off and get all three of these boxes unboxed. Inside the box, you get a target, you get instructional pamphlets, and you get 10 darts. That's the same for all of them. However, with the T-Rex one, you get this big instructional sheet going over how to turn all these into the Dino King. And just by looking at this, it already looks a bit more complex than how to turn them, the blasters from their blaster form into their Dino form. So the first thing I'm going to show you is transforming them from their Dart Blaster form into their Dinosaur form, show you what those look like, then take them back into Dart Blaster form, give you my opinion on how they feel, how they perform, how they work, take them outside, shoot them around a bit, and then we'll put them into Dino King mode, which I'm actually really interested in seeing, and then I'll give you my opinion and all that stuff. You know how this video works, so let's go do some transforming right now. That is a fully formed T-Rex, and it's quite big actually. It's rather large. Next up is the Stegosaurus. And there is the Stegosaurus with all of its spiky goodness on the back, on the tail. And lastly, we have the Velociraptor. And that is the Velociraptor. This one was the easiest one to do out of all the ones available. It's really quick to do, really simple, not much going on, but it does look pretty darn cool. Now that we've gone over them in their dinosaur form, let's take them back into blaster form and check those out in more detail. Before I take these out for a shooting demonstration and FPS readings, I thought I'd go over them really quickly. This one is the Velociraptor, and it is the smallest pistol out of all the blasters in the Dinobots line. It's comfortable, they all use a top prime mechanic, and the only problem that I see with this one is that your hand might get pinched up here as this little bit, that little empty slot right there, comes over the top. Maybe it's just because my hands are really big, but I have felt a little bit of a pinch coming back on the prime, but you prime it back, and then you fire it off like that, just like with all the other ones. This one right here is the Stegosaurus, which I think is the wonkiest looking one out of all of them, with the feet in the back right here that they look a little bit out of place. This one also feels very good, just like they all do, and uses a top prime. The blockiness of the top is a bit weird, but it's not the most uncomfortable that I felt. I still think the pterodactyl or the pterosaur is the weirdest feeling one. It looks alright, I just think these feet look a bit weird, but they had to go somewhere, right? But just like with the others, top prime, lots of hand room, feels very good. Pull it back, fire it off. And this is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. This is the biggest one in the line, obviously, because it houses all the stuff to make the Dino King. It has these like weird jetpack things on the back that don't actually do anything. They're there for looks. They don't light up or anything like that. It's just plastic. And it has this weird kind of stock thing on the back. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's kind of a wonky looking one. Now this one has the weirdest prime of them all. You have to get your hand underneath the little jetpack, and I guess you use these little ridges right here to put your fingers in, and then you prime it back like that. But my hand does not fit, and I don't think a lot of people's are going to fit in there comfortably. And just like with the other ones, you just put your hand on the slide, prime it back, you're ready to fire, and you shoot it off. And lastly, I thought I'd mention this. The darts that come with them, while they look like something you would find on AliExpress or Taobao as a really cheap alternative, they're actually not quite bad. They perform pretty decently. All the heads are adhered on very well from what I can see, and they just feel like a decently solid, cheap alternative. But they do not feed through flywheels very well, as from personal experience and from other people's experience. But I thought it was worth mentioning that the darts that come with the Dinobot stuff are pretty alright. That doesn't count. It's really hard to aim this one with the big jetpack on the back of it, and the barrel has to be, a little barrel shroud has to be perfectly straight, or else it'll be tilted upward and that might hinder your performance. I'm having to tilt this up more than the other ones for some reason. It's definitely harder to use. Now, because this is going to be such a large thing in the end, come outside to put it all together using the big instructional sheet. So let's get this Dino King put together. The conclusion to this video is basically going to be an echo of what I said in the last video. So for those of you who have seen the last video, you're basically going to hear the same thing over again. These blasters are more geared towards indoor use. They don't have the heavy-hitting, far-shooting, outdoorsy feel that something like the Nerf Elite line has. They're definitely geared for shooting across the living room, shooting down the hallway, chasing each other around the house. And that's all right. This fills a role of not a blaster or toy that gets the best distance. It's for those who like Transformers, Beast Wars, that kind of thing, but also want, I guess, like a practical use out of the toy. It transforms into a blaster, which is pretty cool. And when you put them all together, you get the gimmicky Dino King. It is totally a gimmick, but it's also pretty darn cool. In my opinion, whoever designed all this stuff, the way they fit together, the way they all flip out, the way they work is actually really, really cool, and it's kind of awesome to do it. There's some complexity to it, there's some intricacy, and it all ends up with this big robot that's actually quite heavy and quite large, so that's pretty darn cool in my book. Like, I actually enjoyed putting this together. Getting it apart is going to be a bit more difficult, but that's why you get instructions, right? So the line is interesting. It's not the best thing out there, but it does have a lot of cool factor to it. When it comes to transforming toys, I've never actually dived into that type of market. I don't know what those toys are worth, what their price ranges are, but you can expect a price range of around $22 plus or minus for the T-Rex, the Stegosaurus, and the Velociraptor, with the T-Rex definitely being the most expensive out of all of them. I think it was the, what was it? I think it was the Triceratops that had a price tag of around 22, so I'd say it's around there. But overall, I think this is pretty cool, and especially interesting for those who want a transforming toy that turns into something that adds a little bit of extra fun. You can actually use it to have a good time, in my opinion. You get to go shoot your friends. What's more fun than that, right? So there you have it. That was a look at the Velociraptor, the Stegosaurus, and the T-Rex Dinobots blasters slash dinosaur things, and the Dino King, which from Newisland, who were awesome enough to send these to me for free so I could actually put it all together. I'll have links in the description to where you can get either one or all of these if you're interested. I'll have links in the description to where you can buy 1, 2, 3, 4, or all 5 of these blasters in case you want to make the Dino King for yourself. But that's it for this review, shooting demonstration overview, look at the Dinobot series from Newisland. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, have a great day wherever you are.